Honorable Lee, you want to come over here on this side? Okay. All right. So tell me about the past 2 weeks. You weren't here last week,
Uh,
and so how did the past 2 weeks have been for you?
so, for the past 2 weeks, I've been meditating the exact way Venerable Lee showed me how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
which was taking the first deep breaths, and after the first three deep breaths, you still got to close your eyes and just watch your breath and breathe like how I'm doing right now, and
Mm-hmm.
just watch the breath and examine it to see how long or how short it was. I wrote down the four noble truths and the eightfold path in my journal,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept writing down any bad thoughts that kept coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and and yeah, that's what I did.
So just all right. So what type of thoughts that came up this week or the past 2 weeks? Has it been better or has it been the same?
It's been better. Like the thoughts will still come up. Like it's since I've been meditating, it's happening a lot less than usual.
Mm-hmm.
So the thoughts will come up like every now and then, but it's not as it used to be.
Mm. Okay. How many times are you meditating?
3 times a day for 10 minutes. So in the morning when I wake up, in the afternoon at around 3, I'll do it for a second time, and a third time at night right before I sleep, and I will do it 3 times a day, every day for 10 minutes.
Wow. Okay. So why don't you demonstrate how you meditate? You just put your book here. I just want to see how you meditate.
So do this, the back straight,
Mm-hmm. Do you
shoulders
sit on the
relaxed.
ground or do you sit on a chair?
I will do it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Should I do it on the ground?
You do it wherever. Mm-hmm. No, no,
Uh,
no, no. You're okay there.
okay,
I just wanted to see how if you're doing it right or not.
and then put my back straight, and then the first three deep breaths.
Okay. All right. Now, do you feel your shoulders tense?
What do you mean?
Your shoulders, are they tense when you're doing it?
Like
Like just now?
they get tired?
Tense, tense. Like they're not relaxed.
Oh yeah, they don't feel relaxed.
They don't feel relaxed.
No.
How come?
Um, I think it's because when I'm trying to keep my back straight like this, sometimes I might do this, like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then I gotta remind myself to keep it straight.
Mm. Okay. So the back being straight has nothing to do with the shoulders. Uh, you remember my instructions in
Yeah.
mindfulness of the breath is that basically back straight, shoulders relaxed. See, notice how my shoulders are not going up or moving at all.
So like
Yeah.
this.
Uh-huh. The shoulders are relaxed. And right over left. The Buddhist instruction was one hand over the other. But it's commonly seen in Thailand where the two thumbs barely touch each other. And basically, it just rests on your lap, right below the abdomen. And I think that's Julius. Oh. Have you met Julius before?
I've met him
Okay,
like
good.
2 times.
Okay, wonderful. Right. So, so when we're meditating, the point of the back being straight is so that we are alert and intelligent. All right. Because if you ever watch people who are like sleepy, or even if yourself get sleepy or slouching, people just tend to like, a little too relaxed. Right. And so there's this thing called lying down meditation, and 90% of people fall asleep just because it's so relaxed, do a body scan. So the Buddha taught us that sit typically underneath a tree, find the root of a tree, sit underneath a tree, something about trees and the energy that it gives off. And, you sit cross-legged, preferably cross-legged if you can. If you can't, it's okay. But the whole purpose of it is using the body to remind us that we are alert, erected, and intelligent, and knowing what's happening. Also, when your posture changes during the back straight, if you feel yourself kind of like slumping down a little bit, you realize I'm not that alert anymore. All right. So you have to, readjust yourself. But the shoulders doesn't move. So I noticed when you were demonstrating, your shoulders were up like this. So it tenses your body. When you tense your body, all of your focus goes on to that sensation of the tensing. It can't, the mind can only focus on one thing at a time, not multiple things at a time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Hmm. So that's why I said back straight, shoulders relaxed, relaxing all of the muscles on your face, and then you take the 3 deep breaths. Right. Okay. Um, so which techniques are you using out of the 4?
I was doing the bud toe technique.
And what does it mean?
It means Buddha in Thailand,
And what does Buddha means?
the one who knows.
One which knows. And what does he know?
He knows how. He knows that he's not in the past or the future, but that he's here right now in the present moment.
Good. And so, what do you do when thoughts come into your mind as you're meditating?
If that happens, just keep doing it. Just keep focusing on the breath. Just try to ignore the thoughts and focus all your attention on the breath.
Hmm. Was there a time where the thoughts were too overwhelming? It took over,
Like while I'm doing it,
right? Or you stopped yourself to analyze the thoughts
uh,
about the past, about the bullying, about people, places, things.
no. If the thoughts come while I'm meditating, I just try to focus on the breath.
And does it help?
Uh, like while I'm doing it.
Yeah. So when the thoughts come, you dismiss it, and then you go back to the breath.
When I do that, they don't like. I guess they don't like go away. Like they'll still be there, but I try to focus my attention on the breath. So
Mm. Okay. Any questions for him, Venerable Lee? Okay. The journaling. Have you been writing a lot?
um, I said so. I wrote the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path. I also just kept writing the bad thoughts, and I guess that was about it.
Hmm. Those thoughts related to the bullying.
Yes,
Hmm. But it's gotten better, huh?
yes, it's gotten better.
Any ill will thoughts towards the aggressor?
No,
Any thoughts that you like to share that is appropriate?
um,
Or if it's private, that you can still keep it private?
no.
Okay. So you've been glancing over the Four Noble Truths. You've been taking notes on it.
Yes.
All right, let's hear it. I get excited when people write on the Four Noble Truths. Let's see what they found online. Did you find it online?
Yes.
Mhm. Which source?
Just Google.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. The Four Noble Truths. The truth of suffering, dukkha, Life is characterized by suffering and dissatisfaction. The second truth, the truth of origin suffering, samudaya.
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 Mhm.
Suffering arises from attachment and desire. The third noble truth, the truth of cessation and suffering, nirodha.
Mhm.
There is a way to end suffering by letting go of attachments and desire. The fourth noble truth, the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering, magga. The noble eightfold path is the way to achieve liberation from suffering and attain enlightenment.
Mm.
You want me to read the eightfold path?
Yeah, let's slow down for a second. Venerable Lee, can I have some bottled waters? Would you like bottled?
I have water in my car.
Oh, as long as you're thirsty or not thirsty. I just need one. Just got multiple events happening today. All right, so tell me the first noble truth, and what does that mean? What you wrote. Thank you.
Life is suffering and is characterized by suffering and dissatisfaction. So,
What? Yeah. What does that mean to you?
suffering is, I guess, anxiety, depression, anger, bad thoughts, just not having a good life.
Go on. Did you read any more?
Did I read any more?
On the first noble truth.
And dissatisfaction is, I guess, receiving something that you aren't satisfied with.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like what?
like, I guess if someone gives you something and you don't like it, you're not satisfied with the gift.
What else?
I guess not liking. I guess not liking how things are going in your life. Like if you have a bad job and you don't like working there, or maybe you get bullied at work, so.
How much of the first noble truth did you read? How many sources? Just one, or glanced over it and?
I would just go on YouTube and search up videos on the Four Noble Truths. I just did like some Googling. So.
Yep. You remember how many minutes or hour you spent on it over the past 2 weeks?
No.
30 minutes?
Yeah, I guess like an hour.
No. Did you listen to your laptop or phone?
On my phone.
Do you mind pulling it back up so I can see which source you got? Because different people explain it different things, so I just wanted to see which one you glanced over it, just so that, because the Four Noble Truths is very important. The Buddha's teaching is compressed into the Four Noble Truths. 84,000 teachings is compressed into Four Noble Truths. So I just wanted to see some details, and also how you choose what you listen to and how you judge the sources that you have found.
This is one of them, like this video right here.
Truths are the foundation of the Buddha's teaching. These four deceptively simple insights are in fact so profound you can spend a lifetime understanding just one of them. The Pali.
Did you hear what his first sentence was?
Can you replay it?
Word for truth, satya, also means Four Noble Truths are the foundation of the Buddha's teaching. These four deceptively simple insights are in fact so profound you can spend a lifetime understanding just one of them.
Did you catch
Yeah.
it?
It was the Four Noble Truths are satcha. These truths can be profound, and that's what I heard.
So when you listen to it, you try to get every word that he's trying to say, or the broad, or the a good understanding of it. How do you analyze what they say to you? Do you take it word for word and try to analyze word for word each and every single word that he's saying?
No, I would watch the video, go over what he said, and just like analyze the what he said in the video.
So do you remember what he just said?
It was.
I'm concerned about the last sentence where he just said. Most recent last sentence where he just said.
It was.
Let's listen to it again, because I just want.
Words for truth.
I just wanted to see how you also.
Satcha also means.
This phone's.
It's reality, or that which is actual. So the Four Noble Truths are not.
This phone is a little weird. Okay. I just want to see how you study. You know what I'm saying? Okay. The point of me doing this is to see when you're at home, how you listen, what you get out of listening per sentence, what it means to you, how you interpret it in your head, and then what you write after what you have absorbed information. See?
Four Noble Truths are the foundation of the Buddha's teaching. These four deceptively simple insights are in fact so profound you can spend a lifetime understanding just one of them. The Pali word for
you can spend a lifetime just by understanding them.
What else? There's two parts to it. What he said in the beginning and what he says towards the end. Obviously, I stopped it, so that was the end of that sentence. And then before that sentence, you remember what he said?
I forgot.
Foundational. It is foundational in the Buddhist teachings.
Truth, satcha, also means reality, or that which is actual. So, the Four Noble Truths are not philosophical claims to believe in or accept. Rather, the Buddha taught them as scientific, such as gravity, evolution, or the laws of thermodynamics. The Four Noble Truths represent objective, fundamental aspects of reality the Buddha realized when he awoke. To not know these truths, he said, is to sleepwalk through life, repeating always the same mistakes.
Reality. What is reality?
The real world.
Okay.
Not knowing they bring you suffering. It is no coincidence these four truths are called noble. To hear them is already the first step on a path that one day will bring you to becoming an awakened one, a Buddha yourself. So, let's explore the Four Noble Truths of the Buddha and see how these ancient teachings can enrich our own lives as sentient beings wrestling with the mystery of life. The first noble truth is that life is full of dukkha. Now, what is dukkha? Most people translate this Pali word as suffering, but this is only partly right, and it can be misleading. Suffering is a very strong English word we use on rare occasions. We say we've had a stressful day at work, or that we're angry for losing our headphones, or that we regret not talking to our crush back in high school. Life is full of such unpleasant experiences, but to call them suffering is a bit of an exaggeration. The Buddha meant just such things with dukkha, but he also meant so much more. For example, losing your keys is dukkha, but also losing a loved one is dukkha. Regretting your choice for lunch is dukkha, but regretting 30 years of a bad marriage is also dukkha. Hitting your toe is dukkha, and having a lifelong trauma, too, is dukkha. The point is, dukkha can be translated as suffering.
Do you do well with listening or reading and then taking notes?
Listening and taking notes.
You don't like reading a lot?
I do like to read, but I prefer listening and taking notes.
But also was dissatisfaction, discomfort, stress, or unpleasantness. All these things are dukkha, but dukkha is none of them. Dukkha is a much deeper word than any English translation can relate. It is a word used in Buddhism to denote the profound reality of life. That we never really get what we want. And even if we get what we want, we always end up losing it one day. This is the first noble truth of Buddhism. But not only unpleasant things are dukkha. The Buddha tells his disciples that even pleasure, material and spiritual alike, is dukkha. The pleasure you experience during an orgasm is dukkha. The happiness from seeing your child born is dukkha. Even the pleasure of learning the Buddha's teachings is dukkha. Why? Because none of these things ever last. Think about it. Whatever happiness and pleasure you attain in life, whether material or spiritual, it will one day all be gone. And when it is gone, it will leave you with the pain of being separated from it. Thus, all the happiness and pleasure you will find in this world contains the seed of dukkha within it. And you will experience this dukkha, if not now, then later. This is not an opinion.
So tell me what he has said so far to me.
Being dissatisfied with life and just, all the bad stuff that's been happening to you. So it's dukkha.
But the examples that he gave. And by the way, just to let you know that yes, we monks spend our whole life trying to understand the first noble truth, second, third, fourth, and it's music to our ears. And for some of us who have graduated, it's like music to our ears. It's like the first time you ever heard your favorite song, and then you're like, oh, I get what it means. Great. Then you kind of move on in life, and then somewhere down the line, you hear it again somewhere, and you're just like, oh, such music to my ears. So for monks, the first, the Four Noble Truths is just like that. We go through school to learn this little favorite song of ours, Four Noble Truths, and it screams reality in our head. We learn to like it. Yeah, there is suffering in studying it, but we learn to like it because it is foundational to our training. And then from time to time, we meditate on the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths you meditate on in order to preserve your memory so that every decision that you make on a daily basis doesn't cause you suffering. But you have to first be aware of suffering. You have to know how to suffer in order to suffer less. Does that make sense?
No.
Hmm.
Can you explain?
Sure. The first noble truth talks about there is suffering in life. This is important to decipher, discern, because to say that life is filled with suffering is a little bit negative. The more accurate way to say it is there is suffering in life. So in life there is suffering. And the Buddha taught that there is birth, old age, disease, decay, and death. Okay. We can agree birth is suffering. Tell me how giving birth to a child can be suffering.
Because the woman is in pain as she's giving birth.
Mm-hmm. And what does it mean for that fetus? How does that fetus suffer coming out?
It would start crying.
Why?
Because it's new to the world, and the first thing it does is cry.
And it's cold. That fetus was nice and warm in there. And then, okay, birth, old age. Okay, we all know old age. What is disease?
Like getting sick.
What kind of sickness? Give me some examples.
Like the flu, or I guess cancer,
Hmm.
uh, getting a cold.
Hmm. Decay. What is decay?
It's when, I guess it's when you die, your body starts to decay.
Hmm. The decaying of a fruit. You ever seen
Yes.
a banana you just bought from Publix, and then it's like, a week later it doesn't look the same. It's
Yes.
decaying. Ever seen a decaying tree?
No.
A tree that gradually just starts to get old and crack and dries up and just falls over. Venerable Lee, what are some other examples of decay?
Your teeth can decay, eyesight can decay, hearing, senses in the body, your skin.
What's the definition of decay? Anyone?
To break down.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Not function how it once did.
Mm-hmm. Ever had a phone that just doesn't work the same anymore?
Yes.
Right. The wearing out. Okay. Wearing out, wearing down. The expiration of something. Decay. And then death, which is ceasing of the vital forces of the body, vital organs of the body. So your notes were a little too quick, too broad. You got to take notes to the point where you can explain it to a 10-year-old kid what the first noble truth is. If a 10-year-old kid asks you, what is the first noble truth? How would you explain it to the kid? Given the examples I just gave you.
That the first truth is life is suffering, which is dukkha. I would probably give him the examples you just gave, um, like disease and decay, and
Was this the only video that you, or more?
no, I think there were more.
You did? You listened to a couple of them?
Yes.
Show me another source. This one was 26 minutes. This is also good for me because I get to see what kind of sources are out there and how they paint the picture of the Four Noble Truths, whether it's accurate or not, what words they use.
All right. Here's another video.
Mm-hmm. This one is by Inchbite. This one writes everything out for you.
About 2.5 millennia ago, in 563 BC, Siddhartha Gautama was born to a noble family in Lumbini, which is situated in present-day Nepal. His father was the chief of the Shakya clan. Siddhartha enjoyed an affluent life until he chose mendicancy. It was the suffering that he observed in his surroundings which had his heart and view towards the world change. He wondered as to why there were sufferings. There is a story associated with his renunciation of living a luxurious and privileged life. He once saw a funeral going, and looking at people crying and sobbing got him to think about man's suffering.
So you watch this video. In the video subsequently, they talk about the sights that he's seen on the way with the charioteer. So you remember the 4 sights that he saw?
I remember he saw a crippling old monk with a walking cane.
Mm-hmm.
He saw a dead body,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember what the other 2 were.
Mm-hmm. Mm. The second noble truth. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Can I look at my journal?
Mm-hmm.
It was the truth of the origin of suffering, samudaya. Suffering arises from attachment and desire.
Mm-hmm. Desire. So tell me more about that.
it's wants like wanting a new car or a new cell phone, or wanting new TV, wanting stuff.
What else?
Uh,
What else do we want that causes us suffering?
I guess want to want a good life, want a good family, um, wanting to be rich, wanting to live in a nice house, wanting all kinds of stuff.
Any examples of your own wants in life that cause you suffering? We all have wants. Just say what you want, or what you want your
Can it-
parents to do, or people at home.
I guess it can be anything, or can it be anything?
Anything. Yeah.
I want to switch to iPhone in the future.
What else?
Right now, I really want a job. That's what I want to get.
Have we taken steps towards that?
I'm currently working with some people to help me get one, but as of right now, I don't have one yet. But I'm hoping in the future I get one. I'm currently studying to get a driver's license, so I guess in the future I want that. I want to start going to the gym because I really want to lose some weight. So that's another thing I want to start doing. I really want.
Good. Okay. Those are all appropriate wants. Do you know what the difference between a good want and a not so good want?
I guess the bad want is you want to hurt someone, and a good want is wanting a nice life.
How are you studying for the driving test?
I've just been reading a book and watching videos on how to drive.
Is it the book that you get from the DMV, or
How
big's the book? Can you show me?
it's like this big, and it's like
Small little book.
it's like small.
Do you remember the year of the traffic law that book is from?
I don't remember.
So have you read?
I think it's recent, but I don't know what year.
Have you read all of it yet, or?
I've read like halfway through it.
Really? So what have you learned with traffic law?
I
I want to test your memory.
So I remember when we go inside the car, you gotta tighten the seatbelt, check that the mirrors are where they're supposed to be. The book showed when you're driving, you gotta stop at the lights. It shows you the pedestrians walking signs. It shows you how to park the car, how to move the car back.
How often should you? Let me pull some questions in my head here. What are the solid yellow lines? 2 solid yellow lines on the ground, on the roadway means. Did you get to that part yet?
I guess it's just 2 solid. No, I don't think I did.
Okay. A school bus stop with a dividing barrier highway. with its lights drawn. Traffic from the opposite side, or can they stop? Are they able to go, or do they have to stop until the signs on the bus is withdrawn?
They have to like park the car. Like the bus will have like a stop sign, stop the car, because again, like you drive and that sign is up, and then once the bus is ready to go, like the sign will just like close, and then that's when you can go.
And if there's a dividing barrier in the middle of the highway, then traffic from opposite lanes, can they just keep going because of that dividing barrier, or do they have to stop?
They have to stop.
Okay. Four-way stop signs. What says about four-way stop signs that on all of them? Four-way, that means everyone has to stop. And what else? Who gives way to who? Who gets to go first?
The school bus gets to go first.
Oh, what's another question? If two vehicles come to a stop sign at the same time, who gives way to who?
Whoever is there first.
Mm-hmm. So how would you rate your memory when you study traffic law?
I'd say a 5.
Okay, so tell me why a 5.
Because I guess I'm not good at remembering. So when I was reading the book, I really have to like memorize it. I guess I also need to start taking notes on it as well, to help me remember, because I do forget stuff really fast. Because I have a bad memory. So
What's the root cause of the memory loss?
I think it's because since I'm always learning all kinds of things, I guess since I'm always different things, I guess I can't like memorize every single thing because I'm always like learning a lot of new things every day.
Right.
So yeah, and I can't memorize it all because it's like a lot of information. So I guess that's why.
At the time of learning Buddhism, Four Noble Truth, what else were you studying? Or reading or listening to?
I would also just go on YouTube and search up quotes of the Buddha, like some famous quotes that he said. I would also not Buddhist really, but I would also like just look up some computer IT stuff, like how to build computers, like the parts of a computer.
Ever interested in hacking computers, softwares?
No, I once took like this program about computers, learning how to build computers.
You don't want to hack into like Chase Morgan banks? No. Wells Fargo? Okay. At the time of reading traffic law, what were you also studying?
It was also computers because I'm always just searching up videos on them.
Okay, cool. All right. Do you want to fix computers?
Yes, that's like something I'm thinking about getting in the future, like working at like a computer repair store. So
You're good with motherboards?
yes.
Cool. That's awesome. See, there's a lot of computers in here. See? Time. I need someone like you soon. All right, so we have identified the causes of so obviously there's a memory issue that you and I have identified today. And we also identify the cause of it, which is multiple competing, what I call information diet. You watch what you eat at home, right? You would never eat too much, right? That's okay.
Sometimes I do.
Me too, especially chocolate. So information diet is watching what we consume on the web and how to tell ourselves one thing at a time if we're not good. Because eventually, I got a lot of lawyers that do this. I have in this office, you can see, has a lot to do with law and medicine. And there are lawyers that say, yeah, I practice all laws. Really? Civil and traffic and criminal law. But then when you ask them certain specific questions, that they can't answer them because they want to know it all. We all want to know it all. But their brains is not set up that way. Not all of them. So that's why certain doctors and lawyers specific they just practice that one law or just practice that one thing. You get what I'm saying?
What was the one law that they practice?
Any, if someone can be a expert in DUIs, driving while under the influence of drug or alcohol. There are lawyers who just do criminal law, who just do civil law when they sue each other, or family law when they get divorces. Some lawyers just focus on one thing, and they're very good at that one thing because there's a lot to it. Doctors too. Some doctors are just kidney doctors, lung doctors. That's pulmonology. And orthopedics, bone doctors, brain doctors, neurology, eye doctors, ophthalmology. They don't try to treat the whole body because that's just too much, and the effectiveness is not that effective. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They could miss a thing or two, and when you talk about medicine, a person might die if a person misses a thing or two. So my point of sharing that with you is perhaps slow down and just focus on one thing. So if you were to focus on one thing, would it be driving? Driving? Is it something that you want or your parents want for you?
Both. Like
But-
I wanted and my parents wanted as well.
You want it.
Yes, like we both wanted. My parents wanted and I wanted also.
How badly do you want it?
Just really bad.
Really? You're tired of sitting at home. You want to drive around,
Yes.
explore Tampa.
I guess.
Do you remember your streets yet?
Like what street do I live in?
You know where Fowler is? You know where Dale Mabry is?
No.
East, west, south directions of travels?
No.
What's your favorite?
My favorite store in Tampa.
Any store, computer store, grocery store, game store.
I guess Best Buy.
Where is it located?
I don't know what street it's on.
So, okay. So driving is the thing. Your anxiety has gone down?
It has.
1 of a 10? How?
I guess like a 4.
That's good. So if you were to cut back on information diet, where would you cut back so that your memory could improve?
I guess
Choose. If you had to give up something, all the things that you do. Who are your parents in here? Hard to give up, huh?
yes.
Okay. All right. So just go back to the Four Noble Truths. And because this is new discovery to me to track your memory. Try to cut back on the computer stuff
Okay.
because what I can think of in my head is the computer stuff is not going to help you with anxiety.
Okay.
Not going to help you with anxiety. Not going to help you about depression. You can agree on that.
Yes.
It's it's like Julius. You know, Julius here is a security expert. He prevents hackers from hacking into very large banks. So he also does a lot of research. But unless it's making you a lot of money right now, I don't see that as a leisure thing. Right now, you came to me because of anxiety.
Yes.
So I have to focus on that. And quite frankly, I wanted to take Buddhism away for a little minute because I know you were very interested in it. But studying Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths right now also doesn't help so much with anxiety. That's why you see the cognitive behavioral therapy book over there. That will aim to bring the anxiety down to a scale from a 4 down to a 1. That's my goal for you. Do you do well of reading an actual book, or do you do well reading if I send it to your email on your laptop?
It works either way, but I guess you can email me it.
Okay. All right. So if you want to write your email right here for me. Okay. 11:10. The one I'm going to send you is easier than that book that I need more of those second editions, not third edition. Cognitive Behavior Therapy by Wilson and Branch. So anyone that's listening can go on thriftbooks.com or Amazon.com, wherever, BarnesandNoble.com. Cognitive Behavior Therapy by Wilson and Branch, second edition, where it is not purple. Not purple. It has a puzzle on it, blue, light blue. Okay, so I'm going to send you that book. So let's take a pause from studying computer stuff for now, right?
Okay.
Because you've read half all the questions I asked you in traffic law. You didn't remember any of them, and they're all very important,
Okay.
right? So when two vehicles come to stop sign, the one on the left yields the one on the right.
Okay.
Okay. Dividing barriers on a highway with school bus, opposite lane traffic, they stop. Okay. So there's pertinent, important laws that you have to, because if you don't remember them, you won't be able to drive safe. You'll be breaking a lot of traffic law unknowingly, and get a lot of tickets, like a couple $100 worth of tickets that very difficult to afford. So you have to really have a conversation with yourself that what is important right now for me to know and remember, so I don't kill somebody, or somebody kill me on the road as I'm driving because I don't know the law. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
People these days have a lot of anger issues while they're driving. We call that road rage. And if you make a mistake, they're not going to know if it's an honest mistake or if you're trying to cut them off on the road. So it has pertained to personal safety and public safety. And let's take a pause from the Four Noble Truths. And I want to send you the Cognitive Behavioral Therapy book because I just want to bring the negative thoughts in your mind down even lower.
Okay.
Even lower, right? So prepare. Once you get the email by the end of today, just text me, say, yeah, I got the email, I got the book, I'm opening it up. Take extensive notes in that book. Pay close attention to that book. Study that book and traffic law, 100%, full concentration. And don't let your mind wander anywhere else.
Okay.
Don't unplug. Well, you're going to be on the computer, so don't refrain from touching other websites just because keep your mind straight. Focus, concentration. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Any questions for me so far?
So do you want me to read all the book?
Yeah. Get as
Okay.
much as possible. Let's get chapter 1 and 2 down before next week.
And should I also take notes on the book?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's going to help you with anxiety.
Okay.
Because if I don't give you the book and you just continue this path, number one, you're going to remember 2 out of 10 things on each things that you study. And right now, with the identification of the traffic law, and if you're not on point with that, I don't see you passing the traffic exam. And if you do pass the traffic exam, that's a miracle. It would be dangerous to drive on the road without knowing the details, pertinent in the book. Everything in the book in traffic law is important. Nothing is useless. Do you know your DUI laws in traffic law?
No.
No? Do you know the threshold for someone who is under the influence of drug or of alcohol? Alcohol only? 0.01. That's a guess. Do you know the penalty for first-time DUI offenders?
No.
Right. So these are very important stuff that you have to know in Florida. So anyway, so my point is to tell you, hey, we have a problem with memory. Let's cut back on the computer stuff and focus on traffic law and cognitive behavioral therapy. Okay. You can also, what is allowed is you putting what is cognitive behavioral therapy on YouTube, so you know what it is. The book tells you what it is, but if you were curious about it, how does it work? What does it do? It's been around for 50 years, at least 50 years, to help people with anxiety, such as yourself. All right. So you're doing a great job. Just continue to meditate. Just remember to relax your shoulders when you meditate.
Yes.
Yeah? Your parents are right outside. I can see their truck. So I'll say hi to them as they go. Well, we all three say hi to them as they depart. So come back and talk to Julius. Okay. Very good. I'll see you next week, okay, Oscar? Bye-bye. Oh, it's not important anyways. We're still live, recording live. All right, time to examine Julius. Julius, please sit in the chair. Please sit in front of the parole board. Are you ready to be grilled?
Yeah.
Grilled like grilled chicken in Buddhism, that Buddhism has never seen before in their life. Yesterday, oh, you missed it yesterday while I was counseling a couple. And I said, I was helping them manage money.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, so I was trying to get to the point of the middle way, not too extreme and not too cheap. And when I tried to emphasize not too cheap, I said, don't be a Jew. And I said, well, that's great. That was probably not a good thing to say online, which now I've said it again twice. Eventually, AI is going to make deep fakes of all of the prolific teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So the good, the ugly, and the bad, who knows? Who cares? The decimation of the Dhamma and its representatives from AI. AI has already done a number on things out there. So anyways, so if you all caught that yesterday, it's not me. I ain't got nothing against Jewish people. I love everybody equally. And once again, it was layman's use of language in the modern day, which the Buddha gives us permission to use to relate to the people. And some people, understand layman's terms rather than big college technical terms. So I don't want people to misconstrue that, oh my God, the Venerable is racist, or he hates certain people, or he's in that woke or wokeism and whatever. Okay. So how you been, Mr. Julius?
Very good.
Define good.
Can't complain about my life. Well, I could complain, but I don't like to.
What would the complaints be? I like sitting in this chair.
What would my complaints be?
Yeah.
Just like I feel like stupid thing. Oh, I want more money. Things like that. Oh, this thing inconvenienced me. I don't want that there.
Mm.
But I don't focus on those things because I feel like I'm privileged. I shouldn't complain.
Mm-hmm. So tell us, why do you come to Sunday sessions?
I come to Sunday sessions to at least have a little bit of consistency in like Buddhism and make it doesn't that I'm still making some progress in the spiritual aspect of my life.
So what have you read this week?
The last time I read was the Dhammapada in Puerto Rico, so that was
So you had champagne and rum while reading the Dhammapada.
no, not at the same time.
I have
It's a
reason to
different
believe
time.
at the same time.
No, it wasn't.
Or poker chips laying next to the Dhammapada.
No.
No.
This was when it was calm. Everyone was in the hotel room. I was like, it's nice out. This is the perfect place to read.
You were on vacation and studied the Dhammapada. Okay.
A little bit, not intensely.
All right. So what did you remember from the Dhammapada?
Like I was talking about with Venerable Lee earlier, I definitely didn't remember as much as I should have. I just glanced at my book.
If we were in doubt as to the story of the Dhammapada, who explains it best on YouTube?
I don't know. I haven't looked it up on YouTube. This is a trick question. Is it you?
No, it's not a trick question. It's a real question, because those who care about something, they would look it up.
Well, if I was
Just
to make
like-
an educated guess, maybe Bhikkhu Bodhi.
I know you don't know. Let me explain something funny to y'all. Okay. Now you see how I investigate, right? Especially Oscar. So I can help him. And he's honest. He doesn't know that I'm picking and prodding, necessary for me to get to the root cause of his memory and what he cares about and what he does not care about. You get what I'm saying? So I'm guilty of this too. You know, I've been an interpreter in the immigration arena for quite a while. So when I take people to like become a U.S. citizen, and part of the interview process, they ask them they ask like 8 questions in the 100 civics questions. Some of them I'm like, huh? Like the proclamation, what is it called?
Declamation.
It's not declaration.
Declamation.
Declamation. Yeah, that's okay. The proclamation, declamation. Why does it sound weird?
I think that's what it is.
My point is, for the past 20 years, I don't care much for it. The 100 civics questions.
Mhm. What
What did Susan B. Anthony do? Dr. Martin Luther King, Thomas Jefferson. I don't really care much for it, because I serve all areas of medicine and law, and so immigration law is not one of them. That's the cup of my tea. So it's funny. I'm an interpreter of 20 years, but there are certain questions in there that I've seen thousands of times and don't remember it, because I'm not trying to remember it. I just don't care about it. I'm just trying to do my damn job and go home. So that leads me to have the suspicions in students about what do you care about, because we know if certain things go wrong, then we would look it up, like our cars and other do-it-yourself DIYs,
Yeah.
and so on. So Yeah, I appreciate your honesty. A lot of students try to go around it quickly. Yutatamo Bhikkhu would be the one that goes in great depth with the Dhammapada versus, now he's at verses 267, 268, or 256, 257, but I found it that he is. I don't think Bhikkhu Bodhi have gone through the Dhammapada. I've never gone through something that indicated that he was teaching the Dhammapada. Got to be a good storyteller, actually, to teach the Dhammapada. So, any readings this week? Post Puerto Rico? Post PR? And I think, and then the other thing is the identification. I mean, some things people are not aware of. I mean, like Oscar, he wasn't even aware that by studying so many things, he displaces his concentration and focus on whatever that is. Can you hear me that radio for a second? Chị nhớ đổi hướng nhé, đổi hướng khi mà đang lái xe nhé. Nếu như lái bên trái thì tập bên phải, nếu như hồi nãy giờ tập bên phải thì lái bên trái. Teaching a driving class out there. I don't think he was aware that by studying so many things and so passionate about that, whatever computer thing, could take away the focus of what's important at hand. Right? So obviously, why are we here? He's here because he wants to alleviate depression and anxiety. And so therefore, technically I could take everything away. Tell him that he should not take away things from him, but tell him you should stop everything and just prioritize this until this is resolved. Then you can study, just go one by one. And some people are like that. I mean, I'm starting to become that because I'm getting old. But back in our days, 8 classes, 4 classes, 6 classes, right, in middle and high school, we could manage it. 7, okay. And but as you get older, you have competing bills and girlfriends and society and information diet from the news, politics, CNN, Hawaii burning, or climate change. It's information overload. Professor Harari spoke about this, whereas back in the day, you were deprived of information. You had to go to libraries and dig hard and deep. I remember going to lawyers' offices and literally they have their own library of law books. It's crazy to see the law books behind them because they're all in the same color. It's the most boring thing ever. It's the same color, which is tan or dark brown, sometimes black, gold letterings, and they're all like have years on them, but like it looked like 200 years. It's crazy. Now you want to know anything, you just punch it in, Florida legislative, whatever, and ta-da, you have a law. You have the most recent update laws with any amendments right underneath it, a link away. So it makes their jobs quick, fast, efficient, effective. But we have so many things that we want to learn and know that at the end of the day, when a 10-year-old asks you, what did you learn today? Tell me 5 things you learned today about computer, cognitive behavior therapy, Dhammapada, Buddhism, Four Noble Truths. You can probably say 1 fact or 1 sentence on each one, if lucky. You see the problem? It's a very serious problem. And I'm also a victim of that. To the point where years ago, I started going back into psychological organization techniques, psychological organization books that like one thing at a time. Okay. Have you been meditating? Mm-mm.
The last meditation I did was loving kindness meditation, like maybe like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks.
Okay. So it brings to awareness that consistency. What is in your life that is not consistent?
Studying.
How about time management on a day-to-day basis? You have a routine after you get off work, what you do? Gym, exercise,
No.
running, hiking. How much-
Sometimes, well, the only thing I guess I try to do every day after work is like study more, I guess.
That's boring.
I know.
I commend you for it, but I don't think it's a balanced life.
That's my problem, is that I feel like I put more, what's the word? Like
Emphasis.
emphasis on like trying to be better at what I do than like
What's the root cause of that? Is it money, or is it something that your parents or
I feel
care?
like I've been like that for a long time. Like even when I was young, I would like when I do something, I want to be like not just good, but like really good, not if not the best.
How come that was not channeled towards Buddhism?
I feel like for a little it was, so I was like everything I would do, like I was just focused on Buddhism. But then when I got this job, that kind of subsided it. But before that, when I wasn't working, or I was working, but like at the pizzeria, so it wasn't really, it was just like a job to me, not something I'm actually interested in.
Has Venerable Lee's questions towards you this week helpful?
Yeah.
In reflections?
Yeah.
Necessary?
Yeah.
Beneficial?
Yeah.
Good. Good. I mean, obviously, we need people like you, not, oh, I like to buy, 24 pack of donuts and sit on this and coffee and eat, poop, sleep, and not get better. Okay. So what's your plan?
I think the other part of it is laziness. Like I am lazy sometimes. And there's periods where I'm like after work, I'm like, I could read right now, but then I don't. Or I could meditate right now, but then I don't. Even if it's for 10, 20 minutes. So I guess for me, I should actually take advantage of those periods or have a set time where it's like, okay, it's 9:30, it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to meditate and read for 30 minutes.
Do you know what we do on a daily basis? How do you think we live our life?
On a set schedule.
Nowadays, not really. It's really chill.
Yeah.
And it's described as the best life.
Mm-hmm.
Venerable Lee, you object? I have, as I get older, the constant redefining of the good life and the best life becomes more lenient, but still disciplined on a strict schedule, but lenient.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to consider coming down more often and being more active because of time and resources that you have. You have time and resources, something that young people don't have.
Hello?
Yeah, vâng.
Anh dừng trước cửa luôn rồi.
Okay, chị Chelsea. Hold on a second. You guys speak among yourself for a second. I'll be right back. Venerable Lee, can you just sit here for a second and have a conversation, meaningful conversation with Julius while I handle some things out there? Just be yourself.
So you said that you don't like journaling, right? You find it, I guess we could say, irrelevant.
I think like that sometimes, yeah.
How
Not
come-
that it's a bad thing. Not that it wouldn't help me. Maybe it's a bit ignorant for me to think that way. Because obviously I don't remember what I read in Puerto Rico, even if it was just a couple pages. But
You take notes on what you read? How come you drag the journal around?
So I have the opportunity to take notes if I need to. I don't know. I just bring it. They gave it to me.
Do you have a pen?
There you go. Bring a pen. But what I feel like for me, like, I need to make things a routine. Like if I was like, okay, 10 o'clock, this is when I read this,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a routine. Like I'm better at following the routine than just if I don't make that routine for myself, then there's the open possibility that I do another thing. And then I just don't do what I should be doing, or don't take advantage of, okay, I have this time to, read or meditate or whatever.
So if you were to take a piece of paper and write a schedule based on everything that you do, daily basis, hourly, weekly, and write out a set schedule, do you think you would follow it?
Possibly, yeah. But the writing it out isn't what makes me follow it. Makes me follow it is actually following through on that routine. And then I get into the, okay, this is what I do at this time. Because for work, I follow a routine. I wake up at the same time. I have an alarm. I do the same thing. I take a shower. I start working in the morning. Every day at work, I do the same things in the morning that I have to do every day. And I kind of follow that routine with work. But, writing it out, I didn't write it out. It's just something that I kind of developed. And, okay, this works. This is what I do. Now I follow this routine. So I think writing it out in a place where I see it every day could help me build that habit or routine. But it's more of like my mindset that okay, this is the routine I'm following. And then once I actually I guess accept that routine, then it's something that I'll do consistently.
Are your days the same every day?
To an extent, yeah. There's a few deviations on what I do after work each day, but it's pretty much the same things, yeah.
So you work 9 to 5, right? Monday through Friday?
Pretty much. I work 8 to 4. Usually it goes to 5 sometimes. So 8 to 4:35, pretty much. Lately, yeah, because we've been busy.
Okay. Do they have offices that people work in? Did you choose to work from home, or?
No, they have a main office in Idaho or something, but I think no one works there. Maybe 1 or 2 people do it.
So you've always worked from home?
Yeah, pretty much the whole company works from home.
So, trying to get a picture of Julius's life. So you wake up, eat breakfast, brush your teeth?
I don't even eat breakfast.
Okay, brush your teeth.
I wake up, brush my teeth, take a shower. I wake up 7:30, my alarm. Sometimes I get up right at 7:30. Sometimes I lay in bed till 7:40, take a shower, do all that, brush my teeth, go instantly to my computer, start working because I start at 8. And then I'll do what I have to do in the morning. Usually I'll make breakfast while I'm already working. So I'll make breakfast really quick. And then I just work.
Okay, so how come? So you wake up Monday through Friday at 7:30. So how come we start at 10 and you're here at 10:30?
Number one, on the weekends I usually go to sleep later. Number two, I don't like waking up at 7:30. So I usually wake up later on the weekends. So that's my issue. My issue is I have trouble getting myself out of bed after I wake up because I'm just tired and I just want to go there.
Okay. What's the root cause behind the lapses in texting or no replies back or very, very long time span in between?
What is the root cause of that?
Never investigated that house.
I mean, I guess the root cause, I'll like look at my phone and then maybe I'll be doing something. I'll put it away and then like forget to come back to it. But usually when I don't respond, I'm like doing something and then I just don't respond right away, then I forget. And then I come back and I'm going respond to this.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so right now I'm guiding these two wonderful, beautiful couple, husband and wife, in their 20s in Texas, managing time and money also. But the timing is important. So, but back to the original conversation before I had to get up was, I had to go back to work to support my own school. So I'm exhausted by the time he gets off. I try to squeeze in a nap. So start from 9, work all the way until always have lunch with Venerable Lee between 12 and 1, and try to take a nap between somewhere if I can. Or even if I'm working, I just kind of like find a wall. And then by 5, obviously, by 5 when Venerable Lee gets off work, the last thing anybody wants to do is sit there and read. So we up and out. If he's hungry, then you got to eat. And then we try to hit the beach. We try to walk beach. We try to stay active and not be lazy. And in between driving to and from, read in the car. Or when we sit waiting for food, we'll open up and cram in like three pages. That's 3 pages each day. Flipping. 3 times 7 days, that's 21 pages. At least 21 pages. When we come home at night, we try to squeeze 3 more pages in. You see that? It's literally inch by inch. And a constant reminder not to lollygag, or if we're sitting more than 5 minutes and we're daydreaming, it has to be under right speech. Is it true? Is it beneficial? Is it right? Why are we sitting here daydreaming? Or if one is sitting there looking at the water by form of meditation to relax or calm one's mind from a long day of work and letting go of acquired emotion and bad habits, then that's appropriate. It's not like 24/7 we're working and reading, 24/7 we're working and reading,
Yeah.
We take the scooters. You haven't seen the scooters, right? We got electric scooters, and we go along the pier where we look at the waters because it's calming, to get some fresh air, right? So there's leisure activities. There's a quite very well balanced life. And then we get our sleeps between 9 and 10 all the way until 7 and 8 hours of sleep. But have you ever described any of the days that you've been with me to extreme in health time? It's quite of a middle way. You would assert?
Yeah, there are like certain days, but sometimes it's out of everyone's control.
Yeah. It's got its ups and downs, but we try to mitigate the downs as much as possible. Yesterday we were running around a lot trying to achieve certain goals that weren't successful, but we made the best out of it as best as we can, but very mindful of rest. So the point of meeting me and the point of staying with me or under my guidance is to live a balanced life. Active, educational, the chill life, but not too chill. But also hold yourself accountable. It's something that I find in young students of your generation a difficulty in accountability. And accountability is it's just the same thing like you did back in the day. Your view and self adjudication that, if I'm going to go into this, I'm going to go into it all full blown, full blast. And now comes the existence of the job. Now you're wanting to be the best of the best the company has ever seen. Obviously, that's quite impressive for a $15,000 bonus. You get what I'm saying? Not a lot of people have. No one that I've heard in my 20-something years of working gets a $20,000 bonus in this office or students or anywhere else. Obviously, you get what I'm saying? But one needs to know, when does it reach to the extreme? When does it reach to the point of greed? So, and when does it reach to the point where it has taken over your life, that you live it and breathe it? No different than my uncle, who was a cop for now going on 60 years now. Probably 50 years, not 60. But this man lived and breathed this life. The life of a patrolman, the life of a detective, plus in between patrolman and detective, overtimes. Never stopped with overtime, to the point where it probably affected his marriage. And then now, in the other divisions of the departments. So it just never stops. It's just like, he'll probably die with his gun belt, under his living will and last testament. It's like, if I die, I need to be in my uniform with my gun belt and make sure my damn radio is on so I can still talk to y'all. You get what I'm saying? That's extremes. It's extreme in the study of sociology, like work, occupation, and one's identity in work and occupation, literally. Then there is the overtimes, which is greed. Why do we need this much overtime? And after one's divorce, have one sat there and thought about the root cause of one's divorce or contributory working factors that affected one's marriage? I want to be the detective. I want him to sit there. I sit here. It's not my place, not my job. He didn't ask for it. Nor do I think it's going to take any effect anyways. To each his own, whatever. You know what I mean? He was one of the best detectives they've ever seen. So if you can inquire about other people, why didn't you inquire about yourself and your motive, which is what they do, screen for motives? Are we that blind? Okay, so these are inspiring stories for you to also ask yourself, what is my motivation and what is my motive? And as to which point do I make appropriate adjustments during my young age? What am I missing out in life? What am I not missing out? Whether I'm okay with this, let it go, whatever. How much family time is appropriate, and whether family time is educational. Truth be told, when I think, I have a big family, huge family, they're all actually very educated. Most of them are professors and masters and engineers. But when we all get together, they talk about actually nothing. They actually bring up politics. So me and my cousin Andy's into AI and information technologies at USF. He's held positions of assistant professor before. And I think he went back for AI in the STEM program. When me and Andy get together, we steer away from family. We're like, okay, look, everyone is alert, alive, conscious, and breathing normally. Okay. Then I look to Andy and I'm like, all right, so Andy, what's new with you? What's new with education? What's new? Like, I'm trying to learn more or get somewhere with it. Not sit there and learn about Jack Daniel with the rest of the family, or Trump sucks or not suck, or whoever sucks in politics and stuff. You know what I mean? I sat there and I noticed that. What are these adults talking about as they're drinking? And I'm just like, I can do something better with my time right about now. So I figured it out. So family time is important, but you just need to know what the hell are we doing here? And how can I better myself with each passing second? So I don't want to sound like a person who's like, oh, every living, waking moment of your life has to be fully educational, but it needs to also screen moment to moment whether or not it is the middle way and not too extreme of something or too much of something that is useless, right? The phone texting situation, do you catch that too?
Yeah.
I'll just say this. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm just gonna lay it down. Whoever picks it up, picks it up. When I worked at Dr. Lay's office, his wife says, you know, Chidao, you have something that cannot be taught. And that is you cared. You actually cared. Yesterday during the drive back, I drove a total of like 5 hours yesterday. It was exhausting. From a self-care standpoint, appropriate self-care standpoint, I shouldn't have picked up this call that had to do with students from up north. That's them and their parents are going at it. Beyond my control. It's an earful in my ear, literally driving an earful. Now I got this thing, right? That allows me to hear environmental noises and the person I'm talking to. So my system is actually more effective and efficient as I'm driving. If I'm not listening to Yuta Tamo, I'm counseling. And yesterday it was like treading to the orange red line of fatigue. And I get this text message. It's like, Venerable, can we talk to you? My son's acting a fool, and it's a 14-year-old son. And we already know 14, everything's intense. They're like Tasmanian devil getting ready to pop off. So I go, all right, go ahead, speak. And I'm getting information in. And by the time we got back, it was back to back. I wrapped up my conversation with the 14-year-old student to see where he's coming from, and then I had the couples in Texas to worry about. In between those times, never once did I thought about myself. I thought of other people. That's why the phone's never off. The day that you call or anyone else calls and I don't pick up or return within an hour or two, I'm probably dead. He's clinically deceased. Because for the past 20-something years, I've always picked up. And so if we didn't care before about things, maybe it's time to cultivate the act of caring. This is a very strange time in our society where people only care about what brings in the income and everything else they don't care about. It's very supremely alarming and dangerous and treads self-centeredism, ecocentrism, and narcissism. Yes, I will be on the Facebook Messenger in 5 minutes. Can you please grab the white charger in the back of my car right now? I have another counseling session. It just came in.
For the
Back trunk for this. It's a USB-C.
Oh my god. Whoa.
Surprise! The Titanic is here.
Park like right in front of the door.
Yeah, it's hot.
Wait, did you park it there?
Someone hit that door once while I was gonna die. I was teaching a class and I said, "You did a great job." She got off a cruise. She was like coming. Thank you. She was coming off of, seasick, whatever. She did a great job. Drove all by herself out there. Comes back. I gave her a compliment. As soon as she turns in, I said, "You did a great job." As soon as I said, "You did a great job," her mind jumped. Literally, when the Buddha was not kidding, when he says moment to moment, birth of a thought, death of a thought, birth of this, death of that. And her mind jumped and she freaked out and hit the gas. I heard the engine. I literally flew. Stephen was sitting right there. And the door, she hit the door so hard. It looked like a shark bit the door to the point where you could reach under, where the impact was and unlock the door to come in here and break in and entering. So Stephen sat there for 2 hours while the husband spent 2 more hours looking for a door to replace so that we could secure this office so that Stephen wouldn't have to be security guard overnight.
So this is a new door?
That's a brand new door. He had to paint it and everything. He had to pull out the thingy from, it's amazing. But he was also a contractor, handyman contractor or whatever. Yeah, no kidding. So my point is, yeah, just reflect on what I'm saying. If you forget, go back to the recording. All right. So why don't we take this time now? Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Sit there and read the Dhammapada. You go back to reading while I talk to these parents real quick and get this over with. And then we can go eat lunch thereafter. Thank you, y'all, for being wonderful listeners. I got to attend to this one-on-one counseling. Y'all can visit my YouTube, Native Country Vietnam. Oh. Every phone's going to die. Or maybe I leave TikTok because it's going to be educational for TikTok. But only if you understand Vietnamese. It's going to be in Vietnamese. As you're reading, make sure you tell yourself, why do I give a damn about what I'm reading? That will really shake you up. You need to just screen yourself a motive. What am I reading? How is this beneficial to me? How can I use it in my life? That's one way to cultivate active awareness and, just try to reel it back in.